And I guarantee you, like always, this one's going to be informative. It's going to be informative. So as you know, I've been working on both of my compressors, and they are older compressors. The Campbell Housefield here, I it's already done. I got it repowered with a 5 horsepower Vivo motor, SPL, new pressure switch, and things like that. So all that's done. Well, move on to the elephant. Great on both of them. I replaced the legs on them and stuff like that. All the stuff there. So the problem I was having is that I had put a motor on it that was like a 3 horsepower motor. It was 220, but it was SPL. And so SPL, for all you that don't know, that's rated at, that's the most that it will put out. And so I just wouldn't get it. So this Emerson motor here, it never said the horsepower, you know. Never said the horsepower, but it's supposed to have been a 6 horsepower motor from the sides. It was a continuous duty and 240 volts, 15 amps. Well, that's in 3,400 RPM. Well, that's enough for it to do to work. But the problem was this here. The, 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 yeah, yeah. The problem of it is that the motor, is real noisy, but the motor would run. But once I put the belt on it, put it on load, it would just hum. So I had no way of finding out what the capacitors was, anything like that. So I bought. I went on there. I went on Emerson's electronics website and bought the capacitors that they were saying that this motor supposed to take. The start capacitor was 189 to 227, and it was at 60 hertz and 220 to 250 volts. The run capacitor was 300. It was 20 microfarads, and it was 370 volts. So I bought both of them brand new, and you can see them right here. That was the new start capacitor. That was the new run capacitor here. Got them both off of Amazon. And nothing against Amazon, it's just they didn't work. Well, you can look at the motor here, and you'll see on the motor here that nothing's in the motor, burn up, anything like that. I mean, everything looks good. So I was like, man, what's going on? So I decided to get me another motor, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to buy a motor. I decided to get another motor, so I didn't want a motor that was another one of those Vivo motors because I figured that I need a true 5 horsepower motor, and so I went around looking, and again on Facebook Marketplace, I came across this ad where this guy he had uh, motors ranging from 3/4 horsepower to 5 horsepower, and I messaged him, told him what I was looking for and what I needed, and he said, yeah, he had it, he could accommodate me. So this is what I went and bought. This is a true. This is a this motor here. As you can see, who the motor's made by. See who's made by, and it's a American-made motor. Nothing against anybody else, but as you can see, it's a true 5 horsepower motor. And we look at the amperage that it takes to drive it is 22 amps. So anything that's 22 amps or at least 22 amps, that's a heavy duty motor. And so it has two capacitors, and the the shut off for it when it gets hot is right here. but I already tested it. It'll work on here and everything. So I'm gonna put this motor on there, get it all cleaned up and everything, wired up. It's 220, and so that should fix my problem. This one, I'm gonna dive into it. I'll dive into it once I get it. Once I get it all get this one apart. I'll dive in this because, like I say, nothing wrong with the windings, anything like that. But I need this stuff to be done so I can move on to that 5,500 watt generator that I have there. So just wanted you all to see that that's what's going on. And once I get the motor put on it, get it all running and everything, I'll give you all show you all a test of it. But I want to tell you this: if you have any idea that you want to build a compressor, go with your 5 horsepower motor from the beginning, a true 5 horsepower motor. You can even do the VVOR. Go with your 5 horsepower motor, because any one of those larger compressor pumps that you're going to get from Harbor Freight or places like that is going to require a 5 horsepower motor. And if you're going to build one, you want to make sure that you have it all matched up, the runtime and everything, and no problem. Just go down and get the 5 horsepower from the very beginning and build it like that. The price isn't that much difference. I paid, I think, $140 for the 3 horsepower that I had, and this 5 horsepower that I just bought to replace it was like 138 bucks. I got it off of eBay. But I didn't want to go that way again with this compressor here. I wanted this compressor to go back and be exactly like it was an American-made compressor, which both of them are, or with American-made pump. And I want to get a good American motor on there. So that's what I did. So just wanted you all to see that. And hey, it's nothing wrong with getting parts from China or stuff like that. But just wanted to do that because I know that's a 5 horsepower motor, basing on the size of the motor, on both of them, on the size of the case, and that's very important too. And let me show you this. It's very important when you are doing your oh man, I'm acting like I can't even find my stuff. It's very important when you putting your motor, you're doing your motor stuff together, that, people tell you that it's a certain horsepower or whatever like that, but size is important. It is very important. Size is very important. And so where you may think that it isn't, it is. Let me show you this. I'm going to measure the case. I'm going to measure the case off this dual Emerson motor. Now, this case measures at, it's 10 inches. The other American-made motor, the case is what? It's about 10 and a half. Okay. The new motor that I got from Amazon, case measures about 9 inches. So we're about an inch, but if you look at the armature housing is like seven and 3/4. Look at the armature housing on the regular American-made motors. Just the armature housing. 8 inches. Armature housing here. Same thing. About 8 inches. So, that's one way to determine if you have a true 5 horsepower of motor. If I could have got a motor that would have been 6 horse, 7 horse from the guy, if he had one, I would have bought it. I would have bought it. But the thing about it is, when I opened up the motor, the capacitor covers from the Amazon motor, they're both only have 2 wires. When you open up these here, the run capacitor has 3 wires on it. the start capacitor has two. And so the thing of it is that if you put too large a capacitor in the start or for the start motor, it would jump it. It will make it go ahead on and turn. And I'll show you that. It'll jump it and make it turn. But you're gonna give up heat to the run winding. If you put too small a capacitor, you're gonna mess up the start. You've got good connections and everything, leads and all that. You verify the amperage and everything that is going into it is right. But the only problem you're having is it getting warm. Check your capacitors. Check capacitors out because that's what this one here was doing. That's what this started doing. It was trying to come on. It was doing that humming. And it was actually getting the case. The case was getting warm because it was under load and it was trying to move, but it couldn't move. And so what it was doing is it was because the capacitor on the start capacitor was trying to start it. It was making the windings get hot and the case would get warm. So that was the first telltale sign that I had that I was having problems with it. And so knowing from electrical stuff like that, I knew that's what it was. So I just said, you know what, let me just go it on and do away with the motor because it's gonna cause a problem. So this is what is gonna be going on there now. I'm gonna take this one off. I'm gonna put that one on, put the transfer, the pulley over and everything, get it all wind up, get it cleaned up, and get it ready to go. And I gotta make a belt guard and stuff for it. But that's what's going on. If you haven't done so, subscribe, like, share, comment, and I will get you on the next one. Remember, get out there and do something, because if you don't, it won't never get finished. Have a great day.